we're revealing for the first time the IRGC front companies that are actually used for the UAV program. These are the network of companies with civilian titles. They're very, benign-looking companies that, but in fact, they are at the service of the Revolutionary Guards for the purposes of procuring parts, material, and accessories for their UAV program. One of them is actually what they call Iranian Aviation Space Industries Association, which in reality is a core of groups and individuals with close ties with the Iranian Revolutionary Guards who use these front companies, civil-looking companies, to do what the IRGC itself cannot do. And we have elaborated on that and how they're actually helping the IRGC to circumvent sanctions and purchase accessories. And it's really a smuggling ring for the regime. But when you go on their websites, you look at them, you don't see any of those signs, but in fact, that's what they're doing. I'll give you just 2 examples of them. One of them, for instance, is Hamid Saeedi. He's the director of one of those 15 companies that we're revealing today. It's called Farnas Pasargad. You can see him, the shorter guy, showing the UAV navigation system to the supreme leader Ali Khamenei. You can see how close he is. And then what he's actually doing, he has done joint projects with the IRGC, building spy drones. He chaired the board of directors of this UAV working group, which is part of the that association I mentioned. He's very close to Saeed Aghajani, the person I just mentioned earlier, who was just designated as terrorist by the Treasury Department. He's also associated with the Quds Air Industries, which is the main body within the regime that is involved in producing the UAVs. The next person, Masoud Qasemi, he wears different hats. The picture on the right, you see that the airplane in the background. On the left is the Chamber of Commerce of Alborz province. He actually uses some of those elements to help the regime. He's a board of directors, a member of the Iranian Aviation Space Industries Association. He previously chaired that. He's a nephew of IRGC Brigadier General Saeed Qasemi, one of the hardcore Revolutionary Guard commanders who makes headlines in news in the Iranian media like every other week. He uses Alborz Province Chamber of Commerce to circumvent sanctions. So here is a list of 15 companies, and I don't want to go over all the details here. All the information is actually listed in this report that we're revealing today. But you can see that the first 2 of them I talked about them, and then we have the Iranian Research Organization for Science and Technology, and then you have Iranian Innovation and Acceleration Center. Actually, Hamid Saeedi, the first person I showed you today, he's one of the main managers of this center as well. And then you have Farnas Pasargad, which is the one that Hamid Saeedi is running. And then you have Balgostar Negah Asamanha Technology, which actually produces UAV parts in cooperation with the Aerospace Force of the IRGC. Then you have Khwarazmi Electronics Industries. You have the Iran Bek part Khabarmianeh. And then you have the Sahfa Production Distribution Cooperative Company, which is one of the subsets of the Iranian Aviation Space Industries Association. And then you have Arastek Aircraft Maintenance Service Company, and Maham Pergas Technology. Interestingly, that entity is headed by an IRGC Brigadier General, who's also a pilot, Mohammad Nourouzi. And then we have Hezareh Sevvom, Industrial Alloy Development Company, and who works closely with the Ministry of Defense and the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran. And then you have Nazari Titanium Company, which is run by 2 brothers, Nazari brothers, They work very closely with the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Oil, the Atomic Energy Organization, providing them with the things that they can't get it elsewhere. And then you have SARA Safe Tools and Noandishan Composite Structures Industrial Productions. Having said that, let me just say a few words. What we can conclude from this is that since Raisi took office, the Quds Force of the Revolutionary Guards has intensified its activities, including its UAV attacks. And they're spending billions of dollars on UAV and missile, and while 80% of the Iranian population live below the poverty line. So that's why we need to deal with firmness with this regime. No sanctions relief should be allowed. Congress should impose sanctions in addition to the legislation we have. We want to make sure that all of these front companies are also included. And at the end, the way that the Iran regime has handled all of the issues, certainly it's imperative for all of the UN Security Council resolutions to actually come back and be reimposed on that.